back in probably 16, I remember I used to go into listing presentations and the homeowner would say, the agent was saying, that why would they hire you? What, because you go on social media and try and sell houses? And I go, well, everybody's holding their phone in their hand. So I'd be foolish not to use this free tool, to try and showcase your property. And now, fast forward 7, 8, 9 years later, you have every age group, every demographic, social, realizing if you're not on there, it's very difficult to get sales.
This is everything they never told you about real estate, helping you scale your business, implement AI, and capitalize on the latest tech and lead gen strategies. And now here's your hosts, the AI queen of real estate, Carrie Soave, and the queen of Canadian real estate, Jennifer Jones.
Welcome back. I am your host, Carrie, and I am joined with my co-host, Jennifer Jones, the queen of real estate in Canada. And we have a really special guest today. I've actually been trying to get him on here for quite a while, and he's put me off, but that's okay. We forgive him. It's Mark Salerno. And Mark is the owner of Salerno Realty, and he is, I'm going to call you the GOAT of real estate influencers in the GTA, because Mark has been so active online digitally and built such an amazing brand for himself. This is why we want him here. We want to talk about all of that. And thank you so much for making the time, Mark.
I appreciate it. I do. I know we spoke about it, a handful of months back, and it was perfect when you reached out a couple of weeks ago because I was watching some of your videos and, we were talking about the whole AI thing. And then with the podcast, I'm like, let's do it. Let's make it happen. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me on. And very nice to meet both you ladies officially now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So nice to meet you.
Thank you.
So I want to start off your content on Instagram. Let's just talk about Instagram. You've got a massive following. I believe you have one of the top Instagram real estate accounts in Canada. Tell me a little bit about when you started and what was your strategy. Give me the whole spiel.
So look, it was back in 2015 where I decided I had one account, and then I said, I think I got to separate it. And it was about a year after my daughter was born. Yeah, just about a year after my daughter was born, where I'm like, I don't want to mix my children in with real estate. So I said, let me start a business account. So I created, it was originally the Toronto Real Estate Guru. The Toronto RE Guru was my tag. And then I switched it to Salerno Real Estate and kind of went from there. And it was a full focus at the beginning. I'll be honest, there wasn't really any focus on me. I didn't even have a picture of myself as my profile picture on the account. And it was 100% houses. And it was probably 2016 where things started to kind of take off a bit for me, about a year into it, with the introduction of drones. And the drones was something, and I tell this story all the time, where I remember I went out to dinner.
He's frozen for a sec. So while he's frozen, Carrie, how many followers does he have?
Sorry, Mark, you froze up on us for a second. You're back, though.
Okay.
We're good.
Okay, so going back to it, so I'm at 178 right now, because I heard you ask the question. But
yes.
I had a listing. I just bought a new drone, got my drone because I wanted my drone license, because I'm very hands-on with my listings. Okay. So I wanted to be in a position where if I needed to shoot something, I wanted to be available to do it right away. And this was kind of at the beginning of when drones started. And it was a semi-detached. It was a nice house, but definitely wasn't one of my best listings ever. Took this aerial picture, had an above ground pool. And I remember I went out to dinner and I got back and I looked at my phone, like, oh my gosh, I think I had 900 likes and I had 3,200 followers. I'm like, this is not normal. People like drone stuff, to the point where these pictures were not only getting the likes, but they were gaining me followers, 100 here, 100 here. So I kind of tapped into that. Okay, drone picture, certain elevation. If the app likes it, I'm going to put it out there. So that was the initial start of the whole, let's say, building the brand and building the audience online with Instagram. But then after I started doing a couple partnerships, I started looking at some bigger accounts, started doing some cross promos with them. Hey, can I get my really nice listing? Can I get this up onto your account? Obviously, I had to pay for it because these were accounts that were larger accounts that would do promos for me. So One of the big ones at the beginning, and again, inspired me, home decor. I don't even know what she's got right now, how many followers, but at the time she probably had a couple million. Put a package together of like 5 really great listings of mine, and it's exposure, right? So then people start saying, oh wow, saw my listings here, started coming over to my account. And I started rolling with that, right? Look, the more eyes you get on your product that people like it, the more viral it goes. We have a picture of a listing that I had back, probably was 2016, 2017. It's probably the most shared real estate photo, legitimately, I've ever seen. I still get tagged on it 6 years later on Twitter or on wherever it may be. It was a picture of a Porsche in front of this custom built house in Midtown Toronto. It was a beautiful photo, and it just got shared so many times. And, to the cover, the photographer actually was getting mad because he was losing credit on it because people would just take it and put it up. But yeah, that was important to me, doing a lot of collaborative things with different accounts. And then I started incorporating in, right after that, the video tours. I like to think I was maybe one of the first people who actually started the walkthrough tours and like the introductions and stuff like that. This is when nobody was doing video. Okay.
Yeah.
The video was a very obsolete thing at the time. People were scared. It wasn't something that people were putting into their packages. And to sum it up very quickly, another thing was when Reels came out. When Reels first came out, I would be upset if my Reels didn't get six-figure views. Because again, nobody was doing these. Nobody was doing the Reels in the real estate game. So we put stuff up, and they were nicer houses, obviously, and they'd go for 100, 200, 300, 400,000 views. And when you have consistency with videos at that kind of level, when you're getting 100,000 views at the time, you're picking up, 2,000 followers, 3,000 followers. So it gained a lot of traction. Now it's a different game. Look, I'll tell you, I've been stagnant. I've probably been losing followers for the last, probably, I'd say, year. Doing, is involved in this mix now. And it's a more saturated market, if you want to call it, where we tapped into it kind of at the beginning. But for me, look, I love social media. It's been a big part of my growth, not only online, because look, it's great to have a following online, but if you have a following online and it doesn't mean that you're doing deals, I'd rather do all the deals in the world and have no followers than have all the followers and do no deals. So that's, to me, what's really important. It's great to have it, and I'm very thankful for the people who do follow me. But I feel like we kind of lost our way a little bit over the last couple of years, just as a whole community of realtors when it comes to social media, but that's a totally different conversation.
Yeah, that is a real conversation, Mark, because like how I got into AI was through social media coaching, because I always have understood the difference between for a real estate agent using social media as a secondary website or a portfolio as opposed to generating business. And there's a lot of content creators out there now, and they may be getting a lot of views, but they're not getting the business. And that's a problem. And then we talk about AI is making video content creation more accessible. Those who embrace AI to help them with their social media now are going to benefit, because it will get oversaturated. We're already seeing oversaturation in other industries. Content creators coming in out of the blue, because AI is enabling people to produce better content at a higher value, quicker, more frequently, and more consistently, right? So I think that those who embrace AI for social media specifically are really going to benefit, which takes us into, what is your opinion of AI? Like, where are you at in your journey? Like, let's talk.
So look, I haven't dug into it as far as I should have. Or at least, look, there's still time. I know everything's at the beginning of it. But we are using it, look, when I do some editing on my videos, I have professionals who do my videos, but sometimes I'll be like, guys, don't even put the captions in for me, because sometimes I like to chop my videos down to make it a little bit more friendly for, whatever app I'm putting on. CapCut, for example, automatic, the captions, like this is all AI, right? And these are things that I think every person should know. This should be a standard just to, elevate your videos, make it look a little bit more professional. For someone who doesn't really know how to even use that stuff, I can kind of walk my way through that. And this is why I was saying to you the other day, we need to talk more, because I want to see how far this can actually go. And, and I understand there are benefits to it. I'm not sold on the AI for, for example, house values and stuff like that, because that can only give you so much, and I always tell people, the AI system can't detect certain things about the home. It's going to take averages of square footages, lot sizes, but it's not going to factor finishes if somebody spent 200K, in a theater room, for example, right?
The
It's going to take
smell.
average
And the
sales
smell.
of the basic stuff and put it together. So like, I'm not sold on that part of
Yeah.
it. I don't think it's in a position where it's replacing realtors where we have no value because AI can go on House Sigma to figure out what this house is worth. Absolutely not. But I think as a tool in general, not only for real estate, but for many businesses, AI, like you said, will save people time. It will save them money and give them a better opportunity to stand out, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
When you're talking
it's the
Yeah, for sure.
I was gonna say it's about the efficiency of it though, right? And the leverage. And even to Carrie's point with the like AI with social media, we actually do see a lot of realtors, even on our team, doing deals from social media. I've done them myself, right? So even within your following and Carrie's following, you've done deals from social media. However, the AI leverages that to a higher level of conversion. And I think probably, Mark, that might be the one piece that Carrie can help you with, and she certainly
I
helped
agree.
us with that.
I definitely agree. Like that's it. Don't get me wrong. I hope I didn't come off in a way. Like
No.
social media has been
No,
a
not at all.
massive. When I say a massive tool
Yes.
for me for business, like today, I was actually we're moving our offices. And I was outside, and then one of the gentlemen was delivering over. I guess he was a rep for a vodka and a gin company, and he was delivering to the restaurant. Like, as soon as I got out of the car, and like, guys, I was in my gym clothes, and he was popping his trunk, and I got out of the car. He's like, "Hey, I follow you online, right?" So like, it happens all the time. Costco here, there, and that. And the thing is, a
Yes.
lot of deals come from social media. Guys, people used to make fun of
Yes.
me. I'm not even lying. Back in 2016, I remember I used to go into listing presentation, and the whole owner would say, the agent was saying, that why would they hire you? What? Because you go on social media and try and sell houses. And I go, well, everybody's holding their phone in their hand, so I'd be foolish not to use this free tool, to try and showcase your property. And now, fast forward 7, 8, 9 years later, you have every age group, every demographic, social, realizing if you're not on there, it's very difficult to get sales. It just really is, because the days of, back in the day when old social was, how big is my bank account in my pocket? How thick is my pocket to be able to advertise on billboards and this and that? Nowadays, is currency is through this. This is what we need it through, because if you're able to get in front of people, it doesn't cost you effectively anything to start an Instagram account or a TikTok or whatever you want to do it with. We adapt to that, especially now. It's late in the game for that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's so great for, yeah, go ahead, Carrie.
I remember like 8 years ago, I had a huge social media following, especially for Hamilton, the area I'm in Niagara. And I would go to listing appointments against some of the top teams. And these listing appointments were elderly couples, and they hired me and told me they hired me because of my social media reach. Because even though they didn't understand, because they didn't understand social media 8 years ago, but they wanted their agent to be utilizing it. The same thing's going to happen with AI. Like, don't kid yourselves. Like, our clients do not need to understand AI to understand that they want their realtors using it at a high level on their behalf, right? So yeah, you're 100%. Let's talk about, okay, so one thing is I follow you, obviously. I love your content. And I noticed lately you've been posting a lot of cold plunges. Tell me about this, because I tried to do it and I think I lasted until I got a cold like 2 weeks later, and that was the end of that. Like, you've got to have some focus.
It's been a life-changing thing for me. It's become a lifestyle. I got introduced to it by one of my actual sales reps last January, not this January, the January prior. Said, "Mark, gotta come cold plunging." Like, okay, I saw it online. I'm like, let me try it. I went, and from the second I was done, it was invigorating. Okay, the first time I went in the plunge was a minute, and then it was like by the time I built up to 2 minutes, and I went 3 times that day. It's hot, cold therapy. You go sauna, cold plunge, repeat for the time that you have space and where you go. But for 4 days after, I felt high, like literally. I was like, why do I feel so invigorated? Why do I feel so good about myself right now? And I'll tell you, when I did it, I was probably at one of the worst lows mentally in my life. I listen, I've struggled with my weight, and it's not a secret. People know that. I've made that thing my whole life. I was always very self-conscious about it growing up. Even when I wasn't overweight, it was something from when I was a child I always felt was an issue because I was always the big, tallest kid and the biggest kid and all this stuff. And, over the last, let's call it 15, 20 years, this is me. I'm a roller coaster, up and down, 50 pounds, 70 pounds up and down. And I got to the point where last January, I looked at myself on New Year's Eve when I got home, and that was that video I started with when I did that video a couple of weeks ago with kind of the weight loss journey. And I said, this is fucking over. Like, now this is a lifestyle. We got to do something about this. I hit the cold plunge 25 days later, and that just like triggered something in me. And I'm like, wow, I feel great. I have to do it again. I did it now a week later. I went home, told my wife, I said, I have to buy a cold plunge. She's like, oh, come on, Mark, it's another fad, like Peloton and all this. I'm like, no. Like, so I went and bought $100 plastic tub on Amazon that I could barely fit in. It was dead of the winter in February. Put that thing outside. I said, I'm going to plunge for 30 days straight. And if I do it, I'm going to buy a real plunge. Plunge for 30 days straight. Bought a real plunge after that. And it's just been part of my life ever since. When I don't plunge for a couple of days, it throws me off. I'll be honest. It does.
It's interesting too. I was watching, is it Rolf? He's like the cold plunge guy. And he was talking about the fact that it actually raises your dopamine. So it's almost like an antidepressant, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's just so incredible that you have that discipline to do it.
And that's the word, like, and that's the most important thing, because it's like, I try to do it first thing in the morning when I wake up within the first like 15, 20 minutes, because I feel like if I can get that done right away when you're feeling your most tired, it's cold outside, the water is 39 degrees, and you can actually go and accomplish that, everything after for the rest of the day, it's a breeze. Like, I just did something that like I didn't want to do, and I got that out of the way, and it's like, now I feel like really jacked up and really good about it. And it's like, I feel like, why wouldn't you want to feel good? And for me, it makes me feel really good mentally, physically. It's got a lot of benefits to it. And like I said, it's been I have it in my profile, cold plunge addict, because it's really done something for me. Really, honestly, it's incredible.
Question.
It's like,
what about?
I was just gonna say, you conquer yourself. He's conquering himself, right?
Yeah.
He's literally starting his day by conquering himself. And when you start that way, right, that is a game changer.
And a side note,
so
I have
cool.
some of my best conversations with myself while I'm sitting in that water for 3 minutes. Because you get into the zone. I actually did a video last week. I wear the Whoop band, and I realized, because I saw some other guy do it, there's a way to like do a live video, a recording of what your metrics are. So I did it. I went in the cold plunge. My beats per minute before I got in the plunge was like at about 50 seconds into the plunge, it started dropping into the 80s, 54 beats per minute, because you just become so calm. It's very weird. And that's why when I say I have some of the best thoughts with myself, I'll literally be sitting in the plunge and just like be reflecting and just so grateful. And just, it's a weird feeling that you get, but it's powerful. It is so powerful.
Do you have any idea what the advantages to the cold plunge are over the cold shower? Do you know anything about that?
So look, it's the cold exposure in general, and I actually truthfully think the cold shower is worse. Like, it's harder to do. Because the cold shower, yesterday I kind of walked through the shower before it got warmed up, and it hit me like, oh my God, right? And it's like, because I feel it's harder because it's continuously hitting you. Once you get into the water, I go right up to my chin, basically, because I just want to be fully submerged in it. And again, it's more difficult, I felt, when you keep parts of your body that are out of the water because now all the cold is here. And let's say, for example, you see some people put their hands out of the water. I think it makes it worse, in my opinion. I don't know what the benefits are between the shower and the actual plunge. I would have to assume the difference would be the plunge is a little bit more beneficial because you're getting a full submersion of it, is what I would think, as opposed to just getting parts, bits and pieces. And in the shower, what I figured what's tough about is, especially if you're letting the water hit your head, the top of your head is getting cold. Well, your rest of your body is still like, it's not in that full mode, in my opinion. I think it's much harder in the shower. And that's why maybe it deters people from doing the actual cold plunge. Like, I can't even do it in the shower. Why would I try in the actual water at that point? But it's easier.
Yeah. I feel like, Mark, you're in a position, you've been in real estate for what I think I read 17 years. right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a major influencer in our industry. You've still sold over $1 billion in real estate, and you seem like you have your head on straight, and you have the whole psychological aspect figured out. You're the person that I want to ask. Agents, what is the biggest hack for agents to get into the right mindset? And basically, if they want to be Mark Salerno, what do they need to do?
So look, at the end of the day, I wouldn't want anybody to be Mark Salerno. I want people to create the best versions of themselves. Okay. But what I think we've lost a lot of is, because I'm old school. Okay. And when I say I'm old school, I'm like, a 39-year-old that got a mentality of a 75-year-old in this business. Because again, I grew up around my dad. My dad was 1 years older than me. He was in the business. So I always saw, like, I'm the kind of guy you can work with a handshake on, before any signature or anything like that is more important, because my reputation is more important to me than anything in life. Okay. But saying that, where I think agents nowadays are going off path is, before I felt there was a lot more real grind. People can post videos about, motivational talking, the background, the grind, and the this and the that. But I think, as great for what I believe I've contributed to the real estate industry and bringing the awareness to social media and making real estate, cool from that standpoint, it's different now than when it was 10 years ago. All this stuff that we had, the Instagrams, all that stuff wasn't there. I just think that people are focusing too much on what kind of attention will this bring to me as an account, and the professionalism gets lost. And that's the thing that pains me more than anything. And because I look at it and it's like, video is a great tool, but it can also be a very big negative for people in the way you want to portray yourself. Because I think ultimately at the end of the day, hey guys, I'm all about having fun. I'm all about, all that stuff. But I believe there's a line that you can get to that you don't want to cross, because someone might say, hey, but my video got shared 300 times, but it may have got shared 200 times because people were utilizing that to say, look at, is this really what this person is doing? Again, I'm trying to be nice about it. But, and then what does it do ultimately? Realtors in general, look, guys, it's not a secret. People don't like realtors as a whole, the general public. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that, guys. I get a lot of, love, but I get a lot of hate too. And I'm sure that, just as an industry as a whole, because, especially when the market was running hot and people were selling things like hotcakes, everybody's out there flashing their, made a few bucks and is making it be like it's the end of the world. And it's just really pushing it into people. I think people still need to be humble in what they do, whether you make money or you don't. Be humble about how you're doing things. And we've lost the professional edge. Not everybody, but as a whole, especially the younger realtors come in and their whole thing is, I want to come in, I want to make the most money. God bless you. I want you to make $5 million a year. But people don't want to work. They don't want to grind. Like when I was a young pup in this industry, at 22 years old, and I remember I got into the business, my girlfriend had a cottage up north, and on the weekends, what were we doing? 22 years old. Everybody wanted to go up there. All the friends were going up there. I was staying back, sitting at a site at Bristol and McLaughlin that one of the agents who had sold 80% of the building at the time, it was for, not for old age home, but it was more of it wasn't senior living, plus more community style. Is anybody interested in the office and running open houses at this building that's got 12 units left in it? I replied immediately, I'll take it. Well, Mark, the thing is, if you do this, your weekends are gone for the summer. You have to be here Saturday and Sunday all day. I took the job. And most 22-year-olds today wouldn't do that. And I'll tell you something. I went to that site. I sold that site out in the matter of 2 months, the remaining inventory condos, that they went and offered me a site in Ajax of my own for 106 houses that I actually turned down because I said, I don't want to give out my resale day because I like resale. And, look, I was a young guy and I was still doing okay at the time. It's just a grind, the real, true grind and understanding of value without the money. Learn from when people message me all the time, Mark, what do I do? How do I build my business? I say, find some producers in your office and just try to be around them. do whatever you have to do. Pick up the open houses, go get some coffee just to be able to sit in on a conversation, to be able to hear the phone calls that they're making. How are they speaking to clients? How are they speaking to, potential buyers? That is invaluable. But the thing is, everyone wants to be paid for the knowledge. I'm not talking the mentor. I'm talking the person who's trying to learn these things. Oh, if I can't get an open house and make $200 to do the open house, why would I do it? Okay. But better do nothing, right? It's just, I wish I could teach it, guys. I never got into it. You guys know I'm a small brokerage. I got 4 agents who work for me. If it was a situation where I really wanted to wear that mentor hat and pull myself out of the game of selling, I could have 500 people at the brokerage. It's not what I want to do. Maybe later in my life, I'll try and get into that. But I try and give advice to people when I can. That I can tell you. When people come to me and ask me that question, when they reach, hit me up in the DM and stuff like that, I try to give whatever value I give to somebody.
Yeah, well, those are great insights, Mark. Like, so valuable, because there's a lot of agents that are lost right now.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
before we end, I'm going to put you on the spot. Obviously, I'm going to put some AI into your brokerage.
Well,
That's a given.
yeah, for sure. I told you already got to have a meeting about that.
Yeah. And second of all, because I'm going to do that, how do you feel about coming to speak at my AI conference in September?
Where's the conference?
It's in Niagara Falls Convention Center.
Okay.
It's going to be 2 days. And there's some absolute rock stars coming, already confirmed.
So if I know what I'm talking about, I would
You
love
will.
to.
I swear. I will
I
prepare.
would love to. If I prepared, I would. So I'll tell you, I'm actually going on the panel. I've never done it before. I'm not. You guys see, you don't see me at these get-togethers of all
I know,
these
that's why I
conferences.
want you.
It's not that I don't want to come. I was asked by Rob Golfi to join the panel for the one in May. So I'm going to. It's the first. You know what? I'm gonna come. I'll come. So I'll be at that. It's gonna be kind of the first one I'm going to. I'm just gonna be a panelist up there. It's not like a main speaker or anything like that. But maybe it breaks the ice, and we'll see where it kind of goes from there.
So good.
Okay,
So I'm not saying no. I'm not saying no.
Okay, save the date, 26th
Let
and
me know the date.
27th of September.
26th and 27th? Okay. All right.
Awesome.
All right,
Thank
we'll
you
do it.
so much, Mark, for coming on. I know you're on a
Thank you
time
for having me.
limit.
Hope you ladies again today. Great conversation. Hopefully we'll do it soon.
Yeah.
again.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Okay, you go in there, okay? Take care.